Hi guys, so today I am here with a super exciting video for you. This is going to be the 5th video in my top 50 favorite name countdown. So that means I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite names for girls and my top 10 favorite names for boys. These are my favorite names to talk about because they're my favorite names. And these are all names that I would consider using on a future son or daughter. If you haven't seen the previous videos in this series, I will put all the links to them in the description box below, and I also have a playlist where you can watch them all if you haven't seen them yet. But without further ado, I am just going to get started at number 10. So at number 10 for boys, I have Gabriel. Gabriel is a variant of the name Gabriel, which means God is my strength. The first time I ever heard this name was on the author Guy Gabriel Kay, who is a Canadian author, and he has a very, very cool name. Gabriel with a B is currently at number 25, but Gabriel with a V spelling is not in the top 1,000. And I love Gabriel because you still get that biblical association and the wonderful meaning that go along with Gabriel, but you get the more exotic sound and the less popular variant of Gabriel. At number 10 for girls, I have Jerusha. Jerusha has two things that I think are very appealing about it. It starts with a J, and I know a lot of people, myself included, really love J names, and it is biblical. It's also really easy to spell and easy to pronounce because it looks exactly how it is pronounced. And I feel like this name is just ready to be discovered. I feel like not as many people know about this name. It's not one that is talked about a lot. So I feel like if people knew about this name more, it might be used more often. It's a Hebrew name that means wife, and Jerusha was a queen in the Old Testament. At number 9 for boys, I have Almanzo. I feel like this is just one of the most handsome names ever. Almanzo Wilder was of course the husband of Laura Ingalls Wilder from the Little House on the Prairie books. And Almanzo has a very interesting origin. It's an anglicized form of an Arabic name that means the victorious. At number 9 for girls, I have Priscilla. Priscilla is a Latin name that means ancient, and she was an early Christian woman in the Bible. Priscilla is currently at number 483 in the US, so it's not overly popular, but it's not unheard of. I love ancient Latin and ancient Greek names, so Priscilla fits into that category. And I feel like Priscilla sounds very distinguished, but it still sounds feminine at the same time. At number 8 for boys, I have Sullivan. Sullivan comes from an Irish surname, and I love Irish surname names. It means little dark-eyed one, and I have very blue eyes, so it is interesting for me to imagine that I might one day have a little boy with dark eyes, and if I did, I would definitely consider naming him Sullivan. One time I had a dream that I had a son named Sullivan Rex, so that was kind of cool. Sullivan is currently at number 462, and I think that the nickname Sully is really, really cute for Sullivan. At number 8 for girls, I have Arianwen. Arianwen is a beautiful Welsh name. It means silver and fair, and I just imagine a fairy tale princess with her pet unicorn when I hear this name. I am part Welsh on my mother's side, so I feel like this would be a great way to honor my Welsh heritage by using the name Arianwen. At number 7, I have Alistair. Alistair is a very meaningful name to me because my paternal grandfather was adopted, but his surname at birth was McAllister, so I feel like using Alistair would honor that part of my family story, and Alistair is a Scottish form of Alexander that means defender of man. At number 7 for girls, I have another beautiful Welsh name, and that is Guinevere. Guinevere means white shadow, and Guinevere was, of course, the wife of Arthur in Arthurian legend, although that didn't turn out so well, but I still think it's a gorgeous name, and you can get some very, very beautiful nicknames from Guinevere, like Gwen or Vera is one that I really love. I think this is a beautiful name. At number 6 for boys, I have Gideon, another G name. Gideon is a Hebrew name that means hewer or feller. It's currently at number 349 in the US. And I think parents are loving this because even though it is a biblical name and it is several thousand years old, it kind of has a fun, fresh, kind of spunky sound to it. And I just adore the way Gideon sounds. At number 6 for girls, I have Carenza. Carenza is a Cornish name that means love, and so you really can't get a better meaning than that. My father's family were Cornish before they came over to America and then eventually settled in Canada. So I would love to use a Cornish name for one of my future children, and I can absolutely see myself with a daughter named Carenza in the future. At number 5, we're in the top 5 now, 5 for boys, I have Ferdinand. Ferdinand just sounds like the name of a prince to me. It is a Germanic name and it means bold voyager, and I love that meaning because to me it just represents going into life and being courageous and brave and adventurous, and that is absolutely what I would want for my son. At number 5 for girls, I have Cressida. Cressida is such a great name. It's mythological, it's Shakespearean, and Suzanne Collins even used it in her Hunger Games series, so it just has so much history. I also really like the actress who plays Cressida in the Hunger Games, Natalie Dormer. She's one of my favorite actresses, so that's a plus as well. Cress or Cressy I think would make really, really unique nicknames, and the combo that I have for Cressida is Cressida Glory, which means golden glory, and since I'm a prairie girl, that just makes me think of fields of wheat in the summertime, and I just absolutely love the image that Cressida brings to my mind. At number 4 for boys, I have Jericho. Jericho is a Hebrew name. It means city of the moon, and I feel like that is the coolest meaning ever, city of the moon. Jericho is also a place name, and it just recently entered the top 1,000. It's currently at number 948, and Jericho is also my brother's middle name, so I have a family connection to it as well. At number 4 for girls, I have Octavia. Octavia is a Latin name that means 8. I love 4-syllable girls' names, partly because my name is 4 syllables and my mom's name is 4 syllables, and I would love to pass on that tradition to a future daughter someday. So Octavia fits into that category. And I feel like Octavia could be a really, really cool alternative to Olivia. At number 3 for boys, I have Rafferty. Rafferty is another Irish surname, and it means abundance. And I love that Rafferty kind of has an offbeat, kind of quirky sound to it. And I would totally use the nickname Riff Raff if I had a son named Rafferty. At number 3 for girls, I have Hadassah. Hadassah is a Hebrew name that means myrtle tree. This was Queen Esther's Hebrew name in the Bible. I love this name. I love the name Esther as well. It means star. But there's just something so beautiful and so just magical and special about the name Hadassah. And I love the story of Esther Hadassah in the Bible because she is a woman who doesn't expect to have an extraordinary life, but then she has all these extraordinary circumstances just sort of thrown at her, and she becomes the queen of this great nation, and she really steps up to the plate and ends up saving so many innocent lives. And I think she is just a great role model for little girls and for women, and she's just someone I would want my daughter to look to as a role model. Hadassah is currently number 701 in the US, so it is being used, but it is not overly popular. At number 2 for boys, I have Lazarus. Lazarus is a Greek name. It means God is my help. There are 2 men in the Bible named Lazarus. One is a beggar and the other is, of course, Lazarus of Bethany. I love both of those biblical stories, and I also love the sound of this name. Lazarus is a cool sounding name, and I think the nickname Laz makes it a little bit more accessible and usable because it is quite a big name for a little boy, but Laz is just a very, very cool nickname, and it makes it easier to use, I think. At number 2 for girls, I have Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a Hebrew name, and it means God is my oath. This is my mother's name and my grandmother's middle name, and it has a lot of sentimental value to me. In the Bible, Elizabeth is the mother of John the Baptist and the cousin of the Virgin Mary. It is the most popular name on this list. It's currently at number 14. But because it's such a classic name and because there are so many nickname options, I feel like the popularity of Elizabeth doesn't really matter to me. I'm still going to love it no matter how popular it gets. And if I was to have a little girl named Elizabeth, I would call her Eliza. And my number 1 favorite boy's name is Caspian. Caspian comes from the name of the Caspian Sea, which was named for the Cas tribe. Growing up, the Narnia books were my absolute favorites, and of course Prince Caspian is a major character in those books, and he has all sorts of adventures, and he becomes king of Narnia. And I love that it's both a geographical and a literary name, so it has quite a bit of substance to it. And I love the short and sweet nickname Cass. And my number 1 girl's name is Antonia. Antonia comes from a Roman family name, and it possibly means priceless. And for me, Antonia is frilly enough to be a princess name, but it is also strong enough to be taken seriously. So to me, it is just the perfect girl's name. So those are my top 10 favorite names for girls and my top 10 favorite names for boys. Let me know in the comments below what names you guys are loving right now. And if you haven't seen the other videos in this series, I will put the links to those in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.